You mentioned Donald Trump. How's he doing? What do you think of him?
I like him a lot. I supported him. Not originally. I wasn't sure. And I was listening to the people who were saying, there's not a chance. You remember that?
Not sure.
Not a chance. But then, when he did the announcement, it caught my eye, a couple of sentences in that announcement speech about America had lost some of its greatness. We needed to make America great again. Isn't it interesting that that became the kind of rallying cry for a lot of people? And that's the thing that's now regarded by the left as an offense, a punishable offense, apparently, on some campuses. My sons were there ahead of me. My son who went to Princeton, he certainly didn't learn it there. Then got into business, lived in New York. He said, this is the guy. And then my other guy also went to Princeton to join the Marine Corps. He came around, they talked to Lane and me and said, this is the guy. Look, this is what you believe. So I signed on. I think he's doing a great job. I have a good perspective. I'm a swamp creature. I mean, I've been living in this swamp since 1981, since Ronald Reagan brought me here, so I have a good perspective, I think. But I have seen criticism. I've seen tough stuff. I've never seen anything like what he's taking. Never seen constant barrage. But the most amazing thing is that he takes it, gets up in the morning, goes back to work, goes back in the fight. There's a great thing they say about the Irish. Somebody told me that this was my style. They said, you're like the Irishman who walks down the street, sees a fight going on, he says, is this a private fight or can anybody, And Trump looks for fights. He starts them, but he usually has a good reason, a good cause. But boy, he's resilient, he's tough, and I admire very much what he's doing because I know he means it when he talks about American greatness and how he wants to make this country great again. And I think he's done great things.
I agree with you. And as a movement conservative, writing guys and so forth, I was skeptical.
Yeah.
It was my late father. You know what he said to me? Get off his back. Listen to what he's saying. This man can do what he's going to do. We need somebody like this.
Your father, my son's.
That's
interesting.
Two completely different generations.
Yeah.
And the media hate him in such a way that I've never seen before. Even Nixon, I've never seen it before. Is it because they were so invested in a third Obama term? Is it because they viewed him and the people who support him as a joke? Is it because he defies them? He not only rejects them, he humiliates them. Is it all those things or something else?
It's all those things, and I just add one word to your last one, defies them. He does not genuflect to them. They may make him mad, but in the end, he doesn't care what they say in terms of his direction. He's not going to change direction. I was talking to a group of, quote, intellectuals about this before the election, and they said they just couldn't support Trump. These were conservative intellectuals. And it occurred to me that one of the reasons they were saying that was because Donald Trump has never read any of their learned journal articles or op-eds. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about that. And I thought, but he's done so many things. The press likes to talk about the 8,000 lies. Somebody needs to make a list of the 8,000 great things he's done, big and little. I thought one of the biggest little things he did is when he said, I'm not going to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I'm not going. I don't know, did you ever go? We went to a couple.
I never went.
And walked out on a couple because they were so gross. But White House Correspondents' Dinner, I went, Elaine and I went, black tie, we'd go, and we would watch a president of the United States being humiliated by a series of press speakers, and then the big press award given to someone who had tried to take the president's guts out, and he had to shake the guy's hand. Donald Trump just isn't good.
Isn't that the Roman circus right there?
Yeah.
I mean...
Sure.
And they have conformity of thought. The media are more out of the closet now, I think, ideologically, than ever before. Am I right?
Yeah, he's exposed them. He was pointed and he said, look and listen and watch. And you would think they would have been more careful about fake news once he made this charge, but they haven't. I watched your interview with Lynn Wood. What an unbelievable thing that is. I mean, they go after Trump, they go after Tucker Carlson, they've been after you, he may have been after me, lower cadence. But they go after this kid. and they hold him up to ridicule and worse, to the world, and don't check their facts.
What do you think is driving the media? I just think they've thrown in with this hard radical left. I think that the reporters aren't particularly bright, that they reject history too. You know, they don't look at Huntley, Brinkley, they don't look at any of the people who built what it is that they're standing on. And they go their own way, like your typical progressive. History doesn't matter, context doesn't matter, we're agenda driven.
Well, I mean, I think if you go to a journalism school, there won't be George Washington Lincoln on the wall. Maybe Woodward and Bernstein. Expose a president, take down a president. It's kind of unfair to Woodward. I think Woodward has his moments of real objectivity. Bernstein's another story. But I think that they go into this business in order to, get somebody. Got the gotcha journalism. And I believe they think that they are doing justice by
But not Obama. He gets a pass.
Right. Well, that's because that's the ideology. I wrote a paper once for CNN because I was working there, and I wrote a paper for them on confirmation bias. You look for evidence of what it is you believe, and you turn the evidence in your direction. And I know that it never registered, but they're committed ideologues, many of them, and they don't know it. I know I'm a conservative. I know that. I think I can defend it based on history, based on human experience, based on the historical record. They asked my favorite author, Walker Percy, why was he a Catholic? He said, look at the choices. He said, I think original sin is the most clearly, empirically demonstrable thing in the history of the world. Men are sinners. I think I can defend it. They are leftist ideologues, many of them, because, and they don't know it. But this is a fact. This is not fake news. If you look at the surveys of where they stand politically, it's like an academic philosophy department. I was at Boston University. I was not only the only conservative in the philosophy department, I was the only non-Marxist in the philosophy department. 16 people,
Well, you've described MSNBC pretty much. We'll be right back.